Hey guys, today I want to talk about something that I get messages about. Probably, it's not like the most common message that I get or the most common question that I get or concern that I get, but it's like top 5. So today I want to talk about how it's okay to be feminine. And I have definitely talked about this on YouTube. I remember making a video about it maybe a couple of years ago. It is probably on Transtastic and not my personal channel. So I wanted to maybe not revisit the old video and like look at it because I never like rewatch. I just want to like how I'm feeling right now in the moment. Let's talk about femininity as being trans men. So I think the first point that's important to talk about is 100% it's okay for you to be feminine. It does not matter if you're pre-transition, in transition, post-op, pre-op. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey. Everybody has a different trans trajectory, trans narrative, trans story. Everybody does it differently. Sure, there are some similarities, obviously, but we all have our own path that we do and we have and blah, blah, blah. So wherever you are on that line of what you're doing, or that squiggly line, or that box, or whatever you call it, it's okay for you to be feminine. And I'm not trying to be like the authority and like tell you like it's okay to be, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just like, I guess this is like my personal opinion and like things that I've lived through a lot in the community for the past, how old am I? Oh my god, for the past like almost 10 years now, Jesus. So I don't know, I'm just gonna give you like a perspective of like what I've seen. So I get asked a lot about my childhood and if I was a tomboy, blah blah. I wore dresses when I was a kid. I had long hair, and then when I was able to like pick clothes out for myself, I always lean more towards the men's clothes, like my dad's clothes. And then my friends in high school, like in the beginning of high school, wanted like me to like turn into a real girl or something, and like brought me shopping for girl clothes. And then like literally it would be like the beginning of the year I would be in girl clothes. And also I'm just saying girl clothes as like what the society means by that. I don't mean that there's such a thing as girl and boy clothes. I'm just saying like the stereotypical like feminine female clothes I was put in. And then near the end of the year I would go back into the like super tomboy like me. So I was never feminine at all. And like I don't want to use this video as a way to problematize the word femininity and masculinity. Interpret it as you will, but let's just go by what society defines these terms as and what male and female roles are supposed to be. Anyways, back to my story. I realized that I was trans when I was like 15, blah blah, transitioned, blah, blah. Still not feminine at all. And then I started to pass. And like, I've talked about the problematic concept of passing. I'll like link it right here. But being able to like, when I started hormones and people started to finally see me for who I was and I was finally comfortable in myself, I feel like I was able to like slowly dabble into what, not that I feel like I had been missing the feminine aspect or anything like that, but it's like something that was like repressed because I couldn't be feminine before transition because people wouldn't think that I would be trans, right? People wouldn't think that I was trans. So I think that that was really the main issue for me, is that it wasn't even in my head because I knew that it would never happen. But then I transitioned, and because when I was younger, honestly, I didn't transition at a young age. I could have, but I didn't know you could. But I always knew that in the future I would transition, like later on. I don't know why, but I just knew eventually I'd be able to do it. So maybe a part of my brain just like knew that maybe in the future I'll be able to just express something that I've been repressing for such a long time. It's not healthy to repress things, by the way, so that's why I'm making this video and saying it's okay if you're feminine before. Yes, people might think that because you're feminine you're not trans. You are trans. You know yourself more than anybody else does. Now, this goes out maybe more for like the parents, the friends, the teachers, or people who are watching this video who maybe were sent this video by somebody who's presents more feminine, but they are still trans. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter. Gender identity and the way you express yourself, the way you feel inside, who you love, who you want to be in bed with, all of those are different slices of one person's life. They're not all mashed in together. It doesn't matter if you are a man who likes to wear dresses but still identifies as male and wants to use male pronouns and keep their male name. It doesn't matter. If that's what you like, that's great. If you're a trans guy who's very feminine before transition, wears makeup, and then transitions, and like their definition of transition, if they go on hormones and they're still very feminine, still wear makeup, who cares? It's not your life. It doesn't matter. It's their life. you do whatever you want to do with your life, let other people do whatever they want to do with their life. That has always been my like philosophy. Like, who cares? It does not affect you. It does not affect you at all. It doesn't affect you. Anything, it doesn't affect you. This is somebody else's life. It's not you. Like, yes, you might be close to the person, like very close, like they're your kid, or they're your sister, or they're your brother, or blah, blah. But honestly, it's okay. It's okay to be feminine. Anyways, let's go back to my story. So, after a couple of years of being like, oh, why am I so feminine? I just started to embrace it. And I don't care. I repressed it. I don't want my dad to like know that I liked the color purple or something, because I felt like he still wasn't like 100% on board, and I didn't want to like test the waters on that or rock the boat. Yeah. Why are those analogies both on water? That's So instead I decided to like not. But that's hard because everything that I love is like I want to show to people, because I'm very expressive with the things that I love, and I like share it with everybody and like talk about it all the time. So I decided to like give the middle finger to my brain that was like, you cannot show anybody this, and just actually do it. And now, I mean, I've always been super expressive in my videos, like for the last, let's say like 3-4 years. So a lot of people think that I'm gay. I have absolutely no problem with that. Think whatever you want. You have like literally no business knowing how I identify like sexual orientation wise. Like it literally doesn't matter. But the point is that I am now embracing the feminine aspect of myself. Like I am okay. Like again, we're talking about like society's version of what femininity is. So like I would knit before but not tell anybody, and now come on. I don't care. Literally all the things that I named though, like if I just like, whatever, I like musicals, blah, blah, like people automatically think that I'm gay, which, okay, sure, whatever. Like that's their views of what like femininity within men equal gay. Like that's what society is seeing, and that's what the issue is. Like there's so many other issues, but right now, like come on. Really? Like men can't like knitting, or men can't like musicals, men can't like the color pink, men can't like to like wear a woman's jacket. Like come on, are you like what? Like I have small feet, like I have to wear women's running shoes. Like I get looks from people when I tell them that. What do you want me to do about my small feet? I cannot wear men's shoes. I need to be able to run. Anyways, yes, so society has a lot of issues with society, and like society as a whole, and like what I mean by that is like a lot of people who are like not accepting of like femininity, especially male femininity. It's like a threat to masculinity, which doesn't make sense, because masculinity is like so fragile that like if you think that a little bit of femininity in your male circle is gonna ruin masculinity, like really? That's a different rant. Let's do that another day. But yes, back to the original point. Being feminine, embracing your femininity is 100% okay. And if you are not feminine at all and you're like a trans guy, that's fine too. Like I'm just really just basing this off of the questions that I've gotten and like how I feel personally, because I'm express myself a lot, and I guess that's a very feminine trait to like use my hands and like talk like this. So I guess that's something feminine, but like that's the thing, right? It's not me that's like deeming these things feminine. To me, it's the things that I do. It's like chase. That's chasey poos things. It's not like that's a feminine thing to do. It's a chase thing to do. Do you see what I mean? Because it relates to me only and only me. It's society that's like, you use your hands a lot when you talk and you move your head and you're just attitude and like sassy. It mean you're feminine, aka you're gay. And we're back to that circle again. Anyways, I hope that this helped the person, because somebody specifically asked me to make this video, but other people have like in the past hinted that I should make this video and like talk about this like topic. I hope that it has helped one person. I hope that maybe you understand. I really like having a conversation about this in the comments. I like to engage with people. If I don't answer right away, it's because I read all the comments. Every single comment I get on my videos, I get them to my email, so that means I get a lot, but I like to read them just in case anybody like needs something or needs advice that I can like give them right away, or like a link. But I would like to have a conversation about this. This can be controversial. There are probably people out there who believe that there are rigid rules or roles for like men and women and they need to stay that way, and it's okay that we think femininity in men is gay or stuff like that. Like honestly, look, Let's just go with the like, no one is wrong, no one is right. Let's just go and talk about it. We all have different opinions. We're allowed to have different opinions. Something just moved in my window. That's really creepy because it's closed and it's dark outside. I have started to not make sense anymore. Sorry, I'm like really thirsty. Yes, so let's have a conversation. Yeah? Let's do that. Okay, perfect. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you have any topic suggestions, please let me know. Also, I am so close to 30,000 subscribers. I don't even know how that happened. It took me a year and like a week to get from 10,000 to 20,000. And now, within 5 months, I'm about to get hit 30,000. What is this crazy town? I guess I've been making a lot more videos and people are like watching them a lot and just like want to, I don't know. I don't know, whatever. I had tacos, I'm a little bit hyper. Have a great week, see you later.